the musical score just doesn't feel right for them. Here, try this.
I'm wide awake.
This is the one. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and of course, ridiculousness. We're jumping over to the Netflix machine. I was able to check out a movie a little bit early. It's coming out this Wednesday. It's sci-fi. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic ending-type world movie called Awake. Global hysteria ensues after a mysterious catastrophe wipes out all electronics and takes away humanity's ability to sleep. So does this Awake movie have some ties to Katy Perry's Wide Awake? Probably not, but let's find out. But before I get into my full thoughts, good and bad, let me know what you thought of Awake. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you looking forward to it? Let me know in the comments, people. Now, let's get into some of the good. So yes, Awake, people. I think the idea here of essentially this post-apocalyptic kind of asteroid, some kind of weird event happening, and then rewiring people. So there's this weird thing going on that no one can sleep. But then there's maybe a solution to that, and then them having to try to find a cure. Like, you've kind of heard that, seen that in other source material from video games, movies, books, anything like that, end of the world, where there's like a savior and whatnot. So I like the idea here of essentially having a kind of a race against the clock, because as you know, if you are staying up way too late, pulling all-nighters, sleep deprivation, you can only last so long. So again, that kind of race against the clock is present, which I liked here. The idea of it essentially didn't necessarily work the best, but also Gina Rodriguez is kind of the main person here. It was nice to see her on the big screen. That's all I'm gonna say. However, getting into the cons of Awake. Whew, man, I'm not gonna lie, this movie was rough. I was looking forward to it. Again, that idea, reading the synopsis, I was hooked. I was like, give me some weird sci-fi race against the clock, pulling all-nighters. What's gonna happen when you have sleep deprivation of 3, 4, 5? How many days can you go? But the way that they handled this kind of plot just felt it did not work. Actually the whole movie kind of felt like these weird vignettes almost of like, oh, well, in this world we need to have this happen and go to a church, or we need to have looters, or we need to have the military stepping in, or we need to have these kind of test drug programs going on, and it just felt like none of it was really fully cohesive and flowed together. Instead, it was like, okay, we gotta put this one, this one, this one, and we're gonna stitch them all together to essentially have a 90-ish minute movie. I mean, again, there is a great idea in there, but the way that all of it plays out, from the plot to the characters to kind of the conflicts that they run into, it just didn't retain your attention, your interest, and you're kind of just like, oh my gosh, come on. This is just so bland, and you've seen this before. It's not working. And the problem could be that not only was that not interesting, but a lot of the acting, the dialogue, probably the script, and the delivery just did not work at all. Again, I liked seeing Gina Rodriguez on the screen. I love what she does, but the thing is, I think that it was the dialogue or the script that was given to her. It felt very kind of like, oh, I'm gonna say a line, you say a line, I say a line, you say a line. It just didn't really feel like there was much emotion in that character for kind of the problems that they were going through, and then kind of the conversation or the chemistry with her family or other people she ran into. And that's just her. Everyone else just, again, fell into that kind of that bucket of they have one job to do, they're there to do that job, and it just didn't really capture that emotion or that potential like intrigue into this world and how the characters are acting and really feeling after, 3 days of not sleeping. And like I said, the script with the dialogue was probably a big issue here. For me, it just didn't keep my interest. Now, the script with the way that it handles the plot, the problems, conflicts, essentially, like each of these characters, each of these vignettes essentially has a little bit of a conflict that the character has to go through. Oh, of course, we're here and that's gonna happen. Let's see how they get over it. And the way that all of that is solved, or the solutions to those conflicts or problems, just felt so darn lazy. The way that they pieced them together, because it not only felt generic, it felt very like, oh, come on. My reaction was really, of course, that's what's going to happen and whatnot. So I feel like it was very lazy. Honestly, that's what I'm going to just say. One word for this whole movie is just kind of lazy, because it just did not pan out that well. And going back to the idea here, the idea is very interesting. I just think for the idea and what you could do with it, it almost felt like it should have been a short film, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes tops. But they extended it out way too much, and they just could not fill in the pieces of the skeleton. It just kind of feels like an empty husk of a movie of, we have this interesting problem, let's see what happens. And when you see what happens, it's kind of, it's a letdown. It's kind of getting older in life, people. It gets worse. Overall, Awake is an interesting sci-fi movie that does not live up to the idea. With it, again, having that interesting idea there, and some, moments from Gina Rodriguez, but a lot of it just falling flat, very much being lazy from the script, dialogue, conflict, the way everything is handled, and the plot just feeling so disjointed. I would skip out on Awake. I know it might sound like an interesting idea. It might be on your top 10 on Netflix up in the front. Don't click those top 10s, people. It doesn't mean it's the best. It's just they want you to watch their movies. Skip out on Awake, okay? In closing, I'm going to give Awake 1.5 out of 5 sleeping pills. So what did you all think of Awake? Did you watch it? Did you not watch it? Are you actually going to finally listen to me and not watch one of these movies? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be very interested to kind of see what you thought of this one, because I was hoping for something good and I didn't get that. But anyway, though, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there. Brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. More content every single week, every single day, especially on my new channel, JBuck Shorts. Go and subscribe to that. I'm doing some funny sketches over there and whatnot. Plus, follow my TikTok. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel. Do it, people. It helps me out. And until next time, we'll see you later.